I've heard that about you.
I'm an obvious sort of fellow.
You're an opener. You're very open.
I'm an opener.
Yeah.
Speaking of opening, let me open Friday Sips Live. Dan,
Hello.
good day.
Yeah, it's Friday.
It
It's
is.
time to sip.
And a good day to sip. It's been
Yes.
a weird week.
It has.
And most notably, this old dude came and started
Yeah.
hanging out at your house.
He's just lingering. I don't know what to do with him.
We have another guest on the couch.
Yeah.
He hasn't the slightest interest in what we're doing.
He's
So we've not set up a camera.
No.
Mika's not even interested
No.
in him. I'm not sure what's going on. But he is a dad.
Yes.
And if you've been hanging out with us long enough, you know what a fan of dads I am.
You are.
Yeah.
And we have one here. It's my dad, but you can borrow it. It's fine.
Well, I brought him some whiskey.
You did.
And we pulled out the biggest guns we have, which perhaps aren't terribly gigantic guns, but they're all we got.
Well, let's sample what we had. I mean,
Look, I'm not getting comments again.
Yeah, well. Ooh, we have
chat.
the Dude Hawk is here. Ryan S. invited him. So,
The new people.
yeah, welcome. Welcome. All right, so
Well,
I assume...
I suck at comments anyway.
Yeah,
I'll let
I
you
got
handle
it.
that.
I got it covered, man. I assume we can start with... Well, we can start wherever you
Let's
want.
tell us what we're doing.
Why we're doing this.
It's because it's Thanksgiving week next week.
It is. So
we're suckers for wild turkey, and as we were trying to figure out what to do, initially we were going to have Tennessee Whiskey Day.
Yes. We still can. I mean, I have some.
Yeah, but we can't drink everything, as much as we try.
Don't talk like that.
Because you said your dad likes Tennessee whiskey or Jack Daniels. What's your drink of choice?
Just bourbon, Jack Daniels. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were going to do that, but then you did what all good wild turkey homers do. You gave him some rare breed last night,
I did.
and that was good,
It was very good.
very good. And so then we brought out all the wild turkey.
Because
We
we have self-control.
also will need your help because we have two big decisions to make today.
Should we show the decisions?
Not yet.
Okay.
Let's drink a little bit because as likely as I am to open it, it's going to be a tough decision.
You need to get yourself ready for the big
Yes.
choice.
So it's Wild Turkey Day, and we brought. I actually ran out of hands. I did have another Russell single barrel bourbon. I just couldn't carry everything downstairs and was late getting here. So
There's always next week.
there's always next week.
Where do we start?
Well, we drink enough 101.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just save that just in case?
Okay.
But I brought a Kentucky Spirit in the old bottle and a single barrel pick from a store called Davidson's. One day I just walked in, probably a year after they quit making that bottle, and there was 5 of those on the shelf. And most nice people, we leave a bottle on the shelf. Not in the mood that day. I bought all 5 of them. And I got a couple left. And we're going to have one fewer.
Should we crack it open?
Yeah, because this is really maybe a slightly older, an 8 or 9 year old single barrel Wild Turkey 101. Really,
This is the second bottle of Kentucky Spirit I've ever tasted from, and the first one was also one of yours. So
yeah. And last time you were really enamored with the little wooden top.
I was. This thing's great. Yeah, it's got turkey on it. All right,
So turkey on it, and 2 turkeys you're going to drink some wild turkey.
well, 3 turkeys today.
Where's Dad's? Is Dad's
Right here.
glasser?
I got it. Everything's under control. I mean, as much as it ever is. All right, there's 2.
Can we talk about how he raised a generous son because you pour all the whiskey in the glass every time?
I'm very generous with other people's whiskey. Let me bring one over. Oh, this is yours. This is Dad's.
Whatever. That smells so good.
It does.
Oh, don't get up. Don't get up. I wasn't playing. Here you go.
I sure miss these bottles.
One of them is filled with honey at our friend's house.
That's right.
She has bees.
Yes.
The Dude Hawk is a newbie, and he doesn't want to offend us.
That's sweet.
But he wants a recommendation for good whiskey to make an old fashioned with. Now this is the cocktail.
I'm
guy.
a big old fashioned fan. So here's my let's sip a little.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers.
Quick. Well, that's fantastic.
I approve.
Yeah,
Dad approved.
Dad approved.
This is everything we like about wild turkey, with a little bit of age on it. And God, it gets fruitier.
That's good. Are the newer bottles of this the same kind of? I mean, do they taste the same? Have you had one?
I've never bought one.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had 5 of these.
Fair.
And forgive me, I don't see any reason to buy any more of them. They look just like these bottles.
They do, yeah. I think
are similar.
because these used to have a different bottle too. The rare breeds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
initially.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's delicious.
This is fantastic.
I can't see comments.
So rye. What rye do you like for? Or sorry, what,
back to old fashions.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me talk process first. I do think an old fashioned is one of those cocktails that shouldn't be messed with. And what I mean by that is a cocktail likely got its name because at some point it was the only style of cocktail. Spirits, water, bitters, a little sugar. That's what it was. And then we came up with stuff like Manhattans and such. And people like me would say, please make me a cocktail in the old-fashioned way, and that's how it got its name. And so there's some things we shouldn't do. In my opinion, we should not be muddling big chunks of orange and cherries and shit in the bottom of a glass. So when I make mine, I muddle a nice Demerara sugar cube, and I muddle it in the bitters, and I use typically Angostura and a little bit of Reagan's orange bitters. And then I will shoot for a whiskey about 90 proof and put about a half ounce in there, and that's what I muddle with. So I don't muddle with water. That gives me this nice whiskey paste. And then I put 2 ounces of bourbon on top of that, typically bourbon, sometimes rye. And then I fill the little measuring glass back up about halfway, and I drink that because you don't want to just go straight in. You got to warm up. And so that's how my old fashions end up taking 4 ounces of whiskey.
And while he's doing all that, I'm sitting here drinking my whiskey neat.
Yeah. But as far as which whiskeys, my absolute favorite most of the time, which there's never an absolute favorite, is Weller Special Reserve. I like a wheated bourbon for my old fashions, and when I could buy those bottles for $16 a pop, that's what I made old fashions with.
So those days are gone.
Those days are gone, but I still do that because that's one of the few places in life I can be a baller. In fact, Weller 12's 90 proof as well. Guess what I did with that?
Oh, man.
I made old fashioned with it. It turns out good whiskey makes good cocktails. On the rye side, I like Wild Turkey Rye 101, one bottle we don't have here.
That's what
It's a little high on the proof, and so I will muddle with some water there to kind of even that out, but that's a fine one. I'll tell you what happened recently. I found in the back of the cabinet when I was looking for some whiskey to make an old-fashioned, and Evan Williams small batch, that 1783 or whatever, the new small batch at 90 proof, made a fabulous old-fashioned.
Well, Rittenhouse. I mean, I feel like that's a good, inexpensive standby.
It is, but Rittenhouse has a funny, I don't know what to say about it. When it gets in there with just the sugar, there's an odd little note at the top that's, it plays fruity, but it's not, and I don't like it with an old-fashioned. Now, I use Rittenhouse a lot for Manhattans and Red Hooks and that kind of stuff. But basically, shoot for something 90 proof. Be sure it's a straight whiskey. Don't let, because you're new, there's a difference between a straight whiskey and a not straight whiskey, so try and stick with that. But that's my old-fashioned bit. And I do one very large clear ice sphere because, that's what idiot geek whiskey people
This is
do.
just like watching you make an old-fashioned. You're doing something and I'm drinking. This is fantastic.
I love a good old-fashioned.
You can stop with this one.
This is good, right?
This is excellent.
Yeah, and so, I mean, that would be interesting to compare against the rare breed because we were drinking this last night. Same distillery.
Very
same,
different.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Do you know what the difference is in terms, I mean, the recipe's the same, right?
Oh, the same recipe.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild Turkey only has one bourbon recipe.
Yeah. So it's just
All this
aging
stuff.
and placement in the
It's
brick house.
agement, placement, which warehouse, etc. And of course, that one's this is chill filtered. I would imagine, even though it's a single barrel, I'm
Yeah.
not sure it's chill filtered. That is not chill filtered. And there's 11 proof points at 112 something.
This is 114, I think.
114.
Or 116.8.
There's 14, almost 14, 15 proof points difference. That's a big difference.
That'll do it.
Yes.
This is excellent. I'm glad you opened this because this has been...
I'm glad I opened that too.
Yeah.
So that's one piece of data, one data point,
So,
as they say, that may lead us to open more.
Yeah, so while we're looking at all these bottles of Wild Turkey, so is Russell's included in the same one recipe?
Yep.
Okay, so this is all Wild Turkey, the same recipe.
Any bourbon that comes from Wild Turkey,
This is a rye, but yeah.
well, that's a rye, yeah. But they have one rye recipe.
Yeah,
too,
one rye.
is that one recipe,
Okay.
which I do not recall at the moment.
Off the top of your head, you don't know.
It's a pile of corn,
Yeah.
a little bit of rye,
A big
any smidge of malted barley.
old still when it goes in.
You'd think I'd know that.
And then magic happens and we drink it. Yeah. All right.
We're off to a good start. I'm going to put that in the dunk glass.
Yeah. There, I give you a little dump glass.
It is my turn for the dunk glass today,
Yeah.
which is probably why I brought all the best wild turkey.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's next? So we've
That is just fabulous.
oh, by the way, for the Dude Hawk, which by the way I love that name. Wild Turkey 101 is our baseline bottle, and
Yes.
so basically when we're tasting on here on this show, anything that we determine is good or bad or good or needs improvement has to beat Wild Turkey 101 because we think this is an excellent bottle.
$23.
$23, right? So
20 to 25.
So we call this our baseline bourbon.
Yep.
And so that's why this is out here. And we tend to be fans of Wild Turkey in general.
We do, and I think we use that baseline bourbon if we're ever stuck. Is this worth it? Should we be drinking this?
Right.
And there's really only two reasons that we do that. One is if it's not better than Wild Turkey, why did I pay $85 for it? Or if it's not different enough, why am I buying that bottle? I don't know why you keep bringing that up. It's just awful.
This is our baseline.
It's awful.
bottle.
And I broke a promise to everybody. I promised last week to send emails with all the whiskeys on it, but we do have a spreadsheet working that Dan is putting his part in. So we got, looks like about 35 or 40 bottles for you guys to choose from for samples. I think we all know that I suck at getting sample things ready.
I'll do it.
So it shouldn't be much of a surprise.
We've got 30 bottles so far. So lots to
30
choose from. We'll share the list with you guys and you can choose and just email.
Cool. Make sure you put Dude Hawk on there.
Dude Hawk. All right. Cool.
What
So
shall we drink next?
so we've got a little bit of rare breed, but we've been drinking a lot of that. Do you want to jump over to Rise? Or do you want to just drink rare breed? Because I got a little bit left. We could kill it.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
I have more here.
That makes killing it a little harder. You want some rare breed or are you still working over there?
Working. That's long gone.
Oh, okay. All right.
Long
I'll
gone.
come over and
Said the one who birthed you.
can you four-can me here? All right. We're going to do a bottle kill here. I
He's
think.
anxious now. He's going to come get it himself.
No, don't do that.
All right.
We're full service here.
Full service and
Yeah.
full of shit.
More the latter than the former.
All right. I don't have my union card anyway.
Oh, there you go. All right, kill. Well, that'd be a big pour if I kill it for you.
I like the other stuff.
All right, well, I could do a small pour and I'll kill it.
It's the house bourbon. Yes, Dude Hawk. Wild Turkey 101 would be our house bourbon.
It's our well.
It's our well. That's what we go to for all sorts of things.
All right,
I do make cocktails like that, but that old fashioned needs a balance.
we got to kill this here. So I got a little tiny left here.
Might as well just pour it straight
In there. All right.
straight in the dunk glass.
It's almost nothing there. While we're sipping rare breed, do you want to talk about our big choices?
The dilemma.
Yeah.
So I was getting excited. Again, as we know, I'm a big fan of Dad's. I miss mine. When Dads show up, that's important to me. And then we started talking about Wild Turkey. And then I started dragging this off the top of the shelf, this Russell's single barrel. And then I went and thought, well, there's this cool gray box that is sitting in the closet. Maybe we should open. Dan has his decision of his own. He, in the local lottery thing, thought he was last in line and maybe wouldn't get a good choice. Turned out he got a hell of a choice. So we got a Russell's 13. The decision is, do we open these bottles or do we act like the shameless whores we're known to be occasionally and turn those bottles into other things? So maybe, I don't know how these comments will come out. It's hard to say.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Well, and here's a dilemma for this. Now we've tasted this already.
Yeah, but isn't there two?
This is the second one.
No, but this is not the first one I had.
Correct.
This is the second
This is the
of
second
the two. Okay.
And we had a fiery debate about this one.
We did.
We
did.
By fiery, we drank it and really enjoyed it. But the first one was way better. We came to the conclusion that this was definitely
This
not.
is like a pile of cherries with some bourbon poured over it.
Yeah, and yet this is still probably one of the most excellent bourbons we've tasted.
It also sells in the secondary for $400 to $500.
Yeah, and I didn't pay nearly that much. So there's that problem. Kathy says open and share with Dad. And I'm pretty sure she's talking about this. I don't know. The one you paid for.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, what is, so tell me about this Master's Keep.
You know, I bought it a while back. It's Master's Keep the One is the name of it.
Wait, can I open it and do the reveal?
Sure. Just don't drop it on the floor.
I can't promise
I think
that.
I looked in there right before we started. It's 9 to 14-year-old bourbons. There's a toasted barrel involved at some point.
It's a pretty bottle.
It's a pretty bottle. Yeah. Kathy says we should open it.
Kathy's a smart woman. Which one do we open, though?
Well, if we open one, we open both. I think that's the deal. Right? Isn't that the deal?
All right. Well, first, can I finish a little bit of Rare Breed?
Sure.
All right. All right. Well, if we're opening both,
Yeah, so it's not decided yet.
yeah. Which one would we hypothetically open first? Because we've already tasted this.
We should have opened that after this because
Okay.
it's the same proof.
All right. Well, then let's just put this over here. And if we just forget about this one, that's okay.
You know, I know how to open a bottle.
Damn it. You and your hands. All right. Master's Keep. How hard are these to get?
They used to not be so hard. The first one I bought was the first one they released, and I just went in and got it off the off the shelf.
Yeah.
Paid $150 for it, but they didn't bring much at all secondary. In fact, nothing Wild Turkey really brought secondary until the first version of that. It was so good, all of a sudden everything's gone up. So now those are, my decision's not quite as tough as yours. That's about a $325 bottle secondary. Locally, and that's probably more on a national group. I don't do that, so I don't know.
Yeah, and this one goes, what, 500, 600?
4 to 5, I think, yeah.
Now, the one they just came out with, the Rick House one, I forget which one it was called.
So there was another Master's Keep in between.
Right, but there's a new one.
But now there's a single Rick House.
Yeah. What's that all about? I mean, is it just literally the same?
It's a profit grab.
It's just the same stuff, but with
the idea is
different age,
you know, those Camp Nelson single barrel bourbons are just the stuff of legends, and so I think that first one came out of the Camp Nelson Rick House. I'm not 100% sure. Basically, they get the best barrels out of a single Rick House, put those together, bottle those up. That's what that is,
Right.
at an MSRP of $250.
Okay, that's not something I'm going to buy. I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I mean, if we were maybe splitting it, the cost of it, you know.
Wait, what? I didn't realize that was an option. You'd help pay for some of these?
No. I meant like when I said we, I meant like a figurative we. Somebody else will split it.
That's
with
not
you.
fair. You pay for plenty of bottles.
I do. All right.
Okay, so that's the dilemma, and I don't think it's quite sure. I don't think people really want us to open them.
They don't seem to. Well, because boy, Eric's threatening Kathy with cream of Kentucky.
She's already had it. Eric.
Yeah, she
we
has.
determined that last week.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got Kathy's the only one that's weighed in. So how much do we value Kathy's input?
I think she's right.
I think she's right too. I hate to say it.
My business coach is named Kathy, and she's always right.
All right. Well, that still begs the question. So we're going to do this one first, since we already did that one.
Sure, Dan.
Or do you want to do this one? I'm fine to open this. So you want to open this one first? You tell me.
I just want you to be happy.
Well, then this is going to go somewhere else. I'm going to drink more of this.
Well,
I got room in my suitcase.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you need to do with that, as long as I get an appropriate amount out that you got out of the bottle I had.
Well, then I'll just give this to you. 'Cause Larry says too many bottles already. Save them for later. The voice of reason.
Larry's an important figure in the podcast.
He
He's
is.
the associate remote producer.
He's the one that tells us when we screwed something up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he hadn't. This is the first thing he said today, so we haven't screwed anything up.
Yeah. Kathy has negated her good advice with some bad advice. Let Dad decide.
He already said he has a suitcase, and if we don't open it, he's going to take this home anyway. So, at least if we open it, we get a sip.
Well, we've got.
Why don't we have a sip of something else while we're deciding?
That's a fine idea. What would you like?
And we can open something else. Let's go rye.
All right. I'm going to dump glass since.
I'm going to dump glass too. There's.
This is going to make the worst video later.
I'm basically just drinking your leftovers.
You are. All right. Well, what are we going to
It's
open?
my turn for the dump glasses.
Yeah. We can do rise.
Yeah.
So I've had this recently. I haven't had this in a very long time.
Let's open it.
All right, let's do it.
That is your standard off-the-shelf Russell's Reserve single barrel rye. Around here, they're $75. They are absolutely delicious. The proof's I forget, 104. It doesn't actually say that on the bottle, but
It says it right there. 104.
I didn't read it there. I read the other one.
I'm not even good at math, and I saw that. Come on. All right.
Don't rock my cork back and forth.
Sorry.
You break the cork.
Sorry. Right, here, class. All right. Yeah, I haven't had one of these in a while. These are almost always good.
Yes.
So
I got that in one of those trades.
So what's the deal with the difference between Wild Turkey and Russell's Reserve then?
Well, I don't know.
Since you didn't do...
I think it's... What do you mean didn't do it?
No, you did the wrong camera. That's the wrong camera.
Oh.
That's the wrong camera, but it's okay. Let me go pour Dad pour.
I need to fix that as my thing now.
So what's...
You're gonna be pouring Dad out of here.
Someone's got to do it. This is a rye, so you might want to like rinse out before you dive into that. What's the difference between...
I must have swapped the... Whatever, I'll just... let's see. Is this the pour can? That's the pour can.
There's the pour can.
We'll just start going full stream pour can.
It's like the keyboard cam. What's the difference between Russell's and Wild Turkey then?
Well, I think when bourbon began to gain popularity, and then when the Prophet Booker was coming up with small batch this and single barrel that, Jimmy Russell came up with this guy, Kentucky Spirit, when Blanton's did their thing. I think it was a move to come up with a premium level Wild Turkey offering and maybe be a little more focused on the best rick houses, and that was the idea, I believe. I don't really know. I do know it's delicious.
What is?
And always a little different than the Wild Turkey variant.
Mm-hmm. It's mellower than I was expecting. It's 104 proof. I guess that's since we were just drinking 116.8. That'll happen. That's good.
A little dry. That's fabulous.
What do you think, Dad?
Yeah.
You're lukewarm on ryes in general, right?
I'm not a big rye guy.
All right. But as ryes go,
I don't even eat rye bread.
I like it. I think it's good. It's a mellowish rye. I think this will open up and be a little bit more of a blast of flavor. But right now, it's a mellow rye.
I think if you didn't have the bourbon first.
You did what?
If you didn't have the bourbon.
If I didn't have the bourbon first, yeah. We do run into that pretty frequently, and we've talked about that, especially with Deer Hammer.
Yeah. Well, now these play well together. And if you'll just hold a little in your mouth for 10 seconds, 20 seconds before you let it down, it'll fill up and replace all that bourbon-y stuff. But to me, these two in particular, the Russells especially, just epitomizes that Kentucky-style rye, just barely a rye, lots of good oak in it. Although I have to say, that one's a little drier than most.
Got a little bit like a bubblegummy kind of flavor on the
You can
end.
get that. I get the flavor of the forest, the pine needles and such. But it's just drier than
The
most
Ralph
of those.
Waldo Emerson of
Yes.
the flavors, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
But still delicious.
I mean, and these are reliably good, and these are 70
$75
That's a little
yeah.
much, but it's a good rye. But I mean, we could compare it to something like Pikesville, which I was
Well, I think compared to
Oh,
this,
yeah.
because this is more available. Although there is a local liquor store, not to be named Atlas Valley, that put this in a glass case for $75 at Atlas Valley, and that's just wrong.
So Kathy's sipping on Bear Wallow Rye, which is what a great name.
Yeah.
I was just typing
I
that.
kind of did this when she said it, like I was
Bear wallow.
walling around in the dirt.
And let's see, Larry's drinking Wild Turkey Rye.
The 101 rye?
He's got a mash bill. I don't know. We have mash bill numbers.
He's giving us the mash bill. So
Yeah.
51% corn, 37% rye, and 12%. That is... Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, barely rye. Oh, that's what I was thinking. 75, 13, 12.
Oh, he's correcting you.
I didn't say I didn't guess.
No.
He's not correct me if I didn't say
He's
anything.
He's the producer. He can do whatever he wants.
He also has Googles in front of him. I remember this shit 74% correct without Google.
That's true. That's a good point. 74. We'll go with 74. Yeah. 73 maybe.
That's my mash bill.
Yeah.
74% correct.
Yeah.
32% mistakes.
Bullshit, yeah.
The rest of it's complete horseshit.
But we know who we are. All right.
That's good. That's very
It
good.
is
But
good.
I'm going to taste a little of this after, and let's just see.
Well, we could powerize our dump glass here. Yeah, see, Larry said earlier you couldn't remember.
Yes, but that doesn't mean he has to correct me. I just didn't
Larry,
remember.
correct him every chance you get. Oh, we lost a camera. Oh, we lost this camera. Yeah, correct him every chance he needs it. All right, we're going to this.
Okay. Rare breed rye.
Rare breed rye.
Relatively recent addition, I believe, to the... So now we got to go, let's see.
I guess still got pork
There
here.
you
Yeah, there we go. All right. How you doing over there? Need a refill?
I'm all gone here.
We've destroyed
This
that.
would be a much shorter episode if we let him control it.
There'll just be a little snoring over there. It'll be fine. Do you want a little sip of this?
Sure.
All right. Clink.
I'm not going to turn anything down.
I figured you wouldn't. You're a smart man. All right.
I really thought I had more influence on you than this, but it turns out you came this way.
Yep. This is my natural state. Is it good or more? More, right?
You're always helpful, Larry.
It's still a little bit on the floor.
Larry says he's just trying to be helpful. He's always helpful.
Larry is helpful. All right, so rare breed rye versus Russell's rye. These basically just came from different warehouses and different proof. And all right, what's the price on this? What did you buy this for?
Typically, that should be around 60.
Okay.
And I hate that I didn't buy that at a local liquor store, unless Costco counts as a local
Oh,
liquor store.
right, these ones.
But
Yeah.
they were $48, so
You had to buy that. I should have bought one. I said no.
that's not as dry as the other, and it's proofier. You'd expect it to be drier. But definitely, I don't know, lighter feel to it, even though it's proofier. They're both quite delicious.
That is really good. I actually think I might like this one better, though.
I'll tell you what, remember we had the Master's Keep Cornerstone?
Yeah,
that
that was
rye?
really good.
It was really good, but when you stacked it against these,
Yeah.
it was not
Monumental.
$150 better than Wild Turkey 101 rye.
Right. I think, well, I'm going to sip this one a little bit more, but I kind of like this one. There's more mouthfeel to it, I feel like. Which is, and again,
I think it's got probably a year
what's the proof
or
again?
so. That's 112.
Okay, so this is a higher proof, too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It says something about whatever it is that makes Russell's different. Is it a little more age? Is it the right rick house, et cetera, and so forth and so on? It's the exact same recipe. They came off the still and started life the same way.
This has less of a, it's like you're not sucking on a pine branch, you're sucking on a pine cone. So not
everybody knows that's better.
Take that as you will. I don't know. It's just not. It's a little bit more subtle flavors of rye. I
do, but it is definitely a little rougher around the edges. And more than just the 8 proof points would suggest.
Yeah, this is more of a. It's more of a refined.
I think at least occasionally it's worth the extra money.
Yeah.
And if you're at the liquor store, not to be named Atlas Valley, here locally, there is no price difference. You'd be a fool not to buy the Russell's Reserve.
Are we not doing like local endorsements or?
I love the store. We go every Sunday. We buy steaks that are exorbitantly priced, but they're quite delicious. We buy odds and ends. We used to buy whiskey. We don't buy so much whiskey there. And if you want to know mostly why, there'll be a podcast episode that is published next week where Dan and I discuss things like how do stores get rid of their allocated whiskeys and what's fair and what makes us pissy because we don't like
mostly what makes us pissy. You should also tell them about our podcast that just went live today.
Yeah, so we had a wonderful conversation with Jess Graber, co-founder of Stranahan's, founder of Tin Cup Whiskey. He's the guy that is behind certainly one of our favorite Colorado whiskeys, but Stranahan's is known across the country. Incredibly nice guy. Spent lots of time with us, answered questions, told hilarious stories about, was it Larry, the Missouri River Rat?
Yeah, I think that's right. Larry, the Missouri River Rat.
That gave him his first, it was just fascinating. That went live yesterday or today, so if you're not following us on your favorite podcast app, just search The Practical Still. Follow that, and then they'll pop up. Because if you had enough of Dan and I visually, but still you think, could I hear the dulcet tones without the visual nonsense? That's what a podcast is.
Yeah. It's us in a different form. It's the rye version.
We're
of
more
our bourbon.
relaxed too. We have lovely chairs at my house all set up, and it's quiet and dark because of all the sound deadening.
We're neither shivering nor sweating, which is what we're usually doing in here.
So it's quite nice.
Ryan saw our podcast live, which was unintentional.
Ryan did see that.
Yeah.
So we left something on that should not have been on.
Yeah.
And so Ryan got to see, which I was telling you earlier, one of the easiest podcasts to edit. So Ryan, what is actually on the podcast, not a whole lot different than what you heard.
You probably got the visuals of me picking my nose or something beforehand, but otherwise, same thing. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, are we ready to make our big decisions?
Mm-hmm. I've made my decision.
You have you?
Mm-hmm.
What's your decision?
I really like that whiskey.
I kind of want more of this.
That is quite good.
It is.
Yeah, I paid $45 for those.
Yeah, you can't get that anymore for $45.
Like $60 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't have
And when
that
you
cool
buy
bottle.
5, 15 times 5, $75. That's important.
That's math. I don't get it.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
If you want to hear the podcast, Dad's got it going.
He's trying desperately to turn it off. Technology is hard.
It is good, yeah.
Thank you.
He has been drinking.
Yeah. And will continue to.
So,
All right. Well, we got the wild key.
because people named Kathy are smart.
This way I can turn you off.
There you go.
You've been trying his whole life to do that.
The dad jokes are just bounding back and forth.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
I'm foregoing the evil secondary market.
Oh man.
We're gonna open this. I don't flip it on the. This. Let me tell you what I don't like, and I go back and forth about packaging. This just every time I have one of these, it just kills me because I'm scared I'm gonna fling it across the room. Look, it's dusty and everything.
Oh, nice. That's a true dusty, a dust bottle. Dusty.
That's dust from my house.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're doing this.
we're doing it.
All right. Fiscally
I'm sorry,
irresponsible.
I can't find the opening thing. Never mind.
This is just wrong. This is wrong.
Yeah,
it's wrong.
But once it's in your glass, it's going to feel just A-okay.
Will it?
I hope so.
Because I mean, the cornerstone was really, really good, but
It was.
It wasn't worth the money.
But it was not my money.
This is not your money either. That's your money.
That's true, and that's why it's still sealed.
I know that as much as you won't want to open that, you're not going to look like that sort of person in front of your father.
Dude, our pour cam just died. Somebody didn't charge the batteries. All right, well,
we could replace batteries, but we'll just open.
Yeah.
We'll just part the sea.
some good heft to that.
Yeah, if you ever need to throw something at somebody, that's going to be the one.
All right, a little for me, and that for you.
And I believe
Comedy. All right, let me get
that was
down.
funny.
Let me get down.
Funny.
All right.
I don't have to drive home.
No, you don't even. You don't have to walk home. You're here if you want to sleep out here.
Could be. So we'd like it over
Yeah. All right. So we're cracking. So I do have to say, as much as as Mark and I make fun of each other, Mark is very, very generous and always opens his bottles for everybody. And that's part of what we like about the Practical Still, is sharing bottles and not just putting them on a shelf and letting them sit there. We
Yes.
want to share with friends, and so we do.
And the recent opening of the Kentucky Owl Batch 1 Rye was an experience where that was the one bottle that had reached that I just couldn't open it. So I got another one and opened it, and I paid way too much money for it. And if you're on the list, you'll get the chance. There's not much left, so choose it first. But I have another one. I'm just going to open it too. And this one too. This one had been sitting. It's just open.
But share with your friends.
Yes.
Except for this.
Bring that back. So let's see.
Good peripheral vision.
And to tell you, that, just so you know, that's kind of what happened. I didn't think anything about this until right before I was leaving. So I really don't even remember what all the details are about Master's Keep 1. I think it was the toasted thing.
Oh my.
Oh, that's good.
I'm sensing approvals.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
That's really good.
That's pretty tasty.
We're going to try it against that.
I was going to say, I don't know, it's all over the place.
That's almost like batch one of this.
know. It's not so fat.
No, but a lot of the flavors are there. Berries and...
This is all over the palate.
You got to pour me some more, I think.
I don't do the pouring here. You do the pouring.
All right.
Wow.
This is excellent. And this is 101 proof.
So this is around 9 to 10 years old. Vince selecting his own small batch of carefully aged 14-year-old whiskey. Eddie crafted these profiles into one. The magic, there's magic involved.
Yeah.
Magic. I knew I tasted something.
Harry Potter.
There's magic.
It's a little Harry Potter in there.
Let's see. Now I lost one. The magic is in the second maturation. I can't keep my place. Using new oak barrels, specifically toasted and charred, resting in one of his favorite timber rickhouses, Tyrone G. A first for Master's Keep. Well, there you go.
All right.
Magic. There's magic involved.
I know, it's really good, right?
I couldn't have not opened this if I tried. There's magic involved.
There's magic in it.
It opened by itself.
You stir it with a wand.
Oh. It's magic.
No. One.
One.
It's magic. That's the batch
That's a
number.
little rough because you know what happens if these go crazy. Batch 0001 will be the one everybody wants.
The dad jokes.
And
are
I'll
out
have
of
a
control.
bottle.
Out of control.
I'll just have a bottle.
This is excellent. And this will actually be a good segue.
To open that? Because this is very refined.
Yeah, really refined. Yeah. Talk more about refinement?
This is very refined. That is delicious, but not
Pour
refined.
another one. He won't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and actually, I do feel bad about drinking this last because we did have a sample of this. Thank you to Casey at Spirits, Wine, and Provisions who was gracious enough to give me a sample of this. But Mark actually had a bottle of the first batch, which, by the way, was probably one of the best bottles.
Mind-blowingly good.
Just so good.
It's the first bottle I had since that Kentucky Owl Rye that I went,
Yeah.
that's better.
So the first batch of this was
is delicious.
incredible, and that would have been the 2021. And this is the 2022, which I only have rumors and hearsay, but apparently the first one had 19-year-old whiskey in it, and this does not. So one of my big complaints about this whole thing, keep doing that, was that they're charging more for this, and they don't have the 19. But I bought this for the same price you bought your first batch.
I paid $75.
Okay, that's not true at all. I paid $109. I don't math very
But given
well.
what we were hearing and what that's bringing in the second day,
Yeah.
I'd buy a case of that at $100.
Totally, I think so too. And we tasted this, and and when I tasted this the first time without you was, I thought this is fantastic, and then I tasted it against the first batch, and I was like, oh,
That's not fair.
it's
Yeah. This is something I'll remember
Yeah.
at least for an hour and a half. This is so good.
Yeah.
well, I just got some up my nose, so now I've got that up there.
Wow. That's one trip.
I've snorted
Yeah.
some Wild Turkey Master's Keep
I
here.
hope y'all could hear that because it really is whiskey rattling around in this
It's up
nasal
here.
passage.
It's right up here. I can see it through my eyeball.
This is
Yeah.
fabulous. I would, if I was you guys, I'd be lobbying us to put this on the list of things in a very much smaller bottle than the others.
That's fantastic. I'm curious how it's going to stack up against this, which I would say is among the best whiskeys, but not the best whiskey. I'll let you do the honors. Do the honors, would you please? I'm going to keep sipping yours. All right, I'll take care of it. Don't you worry. Oh, man, that is good.
That's quite good.
All right, well,
Toasted has been overdone. Toasted has jumped the shark.
and we've had some bad ones.
We've had some that make you wonder what the hell they were thinking.
Yeah.
I think what happens when you take really good whiskey that's well aged and you get some smart folks in whiskey to use a toasted barrel, that's what comes out. That is outstanding.
Oh, we're doing God's work here. We're opening.
I'll tell you what,
bottles.
if I could have gotten $1,000 for that, I would not trade that for what we just had.
That
It's
was
just, yeah.
that's good, right?
That's when you take home and
Yeah.
yeah.
I will.
Dad
I
approves.
will take it home.
Yeah.
I said I take home.
Yeah. He did smuggle me some East Coast cured meats, so I do feel obligated to give
Ooh,
him
that'd be
this.
good right now. I
20
don't.
pounds of meat on my carry-on.
Yeah.
I don't have any of that.
Well,
here.
we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got this.
None of this is going in the nut blast.
I got that much left.
Even though I get to drink the nut blast today. Isn't it funny how we've gotten to we have to drink the dump glass? I get to drink the.
I'm gonna put the Diet Pepsi in your dump glass today. All right, I just bought this a few hours ago, and
Is it aged? Is it aged enough?
no, well,
A couple hours.
it's gonna have to be.
Tell your friends these two morons just opened $1,000 worth of whiskey to share with everyone.
Who wouldn't want to watch that every Friday? Two idiots opening expensive bottles.
We could do it at least for another month.
We're
Kind of what's on our
literally
shelves.
we're just going bankrupt for a Friday live stream.
I might watch this again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
There you go. Every Friday.
You might be
2:30.
thinking, well, they make so much money from that.
Yeah, right.
Not at all.
No, you'd be shocked to learn that we're not.
It turns out the 8 people that love us and support us, there's just a limit.
It is. All right. Well, I poured
That's
mine.
why we share.
All right. Are you still drinking yours?
Yeah.
All right. Are you done?
Long time ago.
Okay. You didn't waste any time.
My bad on the cameras.
All right.
I really thought I had that covered.
No worries.
Way darker.
Ooh.
Oh.
All right.
Wow.
I know.
That was
That was good. This is really good too, but it's different good.
a little dark.
Yep. All right. Now, we've had this before. My dad has not. But I'm curious to see how this tastes.
Look how much. It's hard to tell in there,
No, it's
but
pretty much-
this is
it's a little
way darker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is well.
And it's older.
It is. All right. So one of the
Where
things.
did we land last when we drank? Because we weren't. I was biased because I had enjoyed so much of that first bottle, whatever Dan left me to drink, and it wasn't as good. But I guess Casey was not happy with it at all.
He was pretty vigilant about not liking
I
it.
don't think we were that way. I thought we certainly recognized it wasn't as mind-blowingly good as the first batch. But
I actually liked the nose on this one better than the first one.
there's a nice nose.
It is. But the first one is distinguishably better, which is not to say that this is bad.
No, this got a good woodsy.
Yeah, you're getting cherries.
Yeah. I'm getting wood.
Wood. keep that to yourself.
I'm going back. I'm going back.
You know, sometimes other decisions have to be made, and if we got to go that way to grow the channel and change the name to Dan's Dad's Got Wood, that's what we have to do.
The practical still
That
OnlyFans.
that's pretty good.
This really attacks your mouth. I mean, it's just it's everything.
Yeah.
That was gross.
Dan, stop attacking my mouth.
No, this is.
But it coats your mouth. It's a really mouth coating.
But that's like we're
sounds
having
gross.
this nice conversation with Lennox Lewis. Everything's going well, and then Mike Tyson hits us in the mouth, which is one of the best quotes ever.
Everybody has a plan.
Everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. That's
that. It's you know what the good thing about this is though is having
You paid for it?
I don't know if that's the good thing about it for me. But, you know, having tasted the first and the second and knowing that the first was much better, but not having the first one here, this is really
in all
phenomenal.
seriousness, when we tasted that second one, it was a big jar of cherries with some dry wood on it. I mean, there was that feeling that it's good, but it's not what it should be. I don't get that now. It is quite delicious.
Right, because we don't have anything to compare it to. And this is fantastic, though.
Yeah, but it's not what the first one was. But
Yeah.
we drank the first one and it's gone. This is what we have to work with. And luckily,
It's
we
fantastic.
got you to open it.
Yeah. I regret nothing. I regret a little. I regret, like, that much. But this is pretty
We'll
good.
drink a little more.
Yeah.
Good. What a good day. Which of these have we not drank?
I think we hit all of them except the 101, and that is it.
I think the one in the fancy bottle. We did.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't drink any of that?
Yeah.
Well, we did, but you should drink it again.
Let us get you some more of that.
Yeah.
But we do need to, in order to finish correctly, we need to revisit either this one, since we started with it, or Mr. Baseline.
I think you're right. I think we should go all the way to baseline.
Okay.
I mean, I want to drink that after we turn off the cameras. But we should.
I think, I mean, I know your dad's here and he's probably got the guest room taken. He's going to have to move over.
There's a couch down there.
Yes,
too.
we got plenty of space.
I don't do couches or pajamas, so get ready.
All right, couch you can have. Pajamas.
Yeah, you're staying in the garage. Before we do that, let's just make sure that you guys follow us on The Practical Still.
Yes.
On social media and on YouTube, of course. Tell your friends.
All of that's available at thepracticalstill.com.
Yes, and we will have a list for you guys for the bottle samples. So if you haven't given us your email, email us.
And that's, I forget the fun name. The new person?
The Dude Hawk.
Dude Hawk. Mark at thepracticalstill.com. Send me your email address, please. Or excuse me, your physical address.
Yeah, and we'll share the list with you all, and you can pick what you want.
Yep. We pick away because Dan has agreed to do the actual shipping, which, as bad as I suck at comments, I suck double at shipping stuff.
He sucks, but I'm a sucker. So
but
I
will bottle up the samples. I did buy the most amazing little labeler.
You did. $20 well spent.
$28
well spent.
And they get you on the consumables. $10 for the freaking labels.
All right.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's baseline this bad boy. You've had one of Turkey 101. You've got something good in yours.
I got love.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to put our money where our mouth is. We always talk about 101 as our baseline. So we're going to pour some 101.
Is there any chance that stands up to what in the secondary is 2 bottles at $1,000?
And well, that's a good
What's
question.
the secondary price of Wild Turkey 101?
$23.
$23.
You can get this anywhere. It's delicious.
It is delicious. And remember, that's 6, 7, and 8-year-old bourbons most batches.
I'm gonna rinse.
I'm not.
All right, so we got
I'm
one.
not letting any of that out.
All right, so does it stand up is the question. Here's 101, our baseline. Nose is good. Not as good as, what was it?
No,
this one.
it's not as good as the last couple,
But it's still good. It's pleasant. That's good.
but I'm pleased to say
That's better.
the expensive bottles really do. In fact, way more than, and maybe I'll finally post that video. There was once a time I sat in my kitchen all by myself. I lined up a Wild Turkey 101 rye, $25. A Russell's Reserve 6-year, $40. The Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye on up all the way to the Cornerstone. I was able to identify the chill filtered versus non-chill filtered. Other than that, I got drunk and didn't know. And that was hard to tell the difference.
Come on, you had an easy ride.
There was not $125 or $50 difference between the Master's Keep Cornerstone and the $25 Wild Turkey 101 rye. This is a lot closer. This is a clear difference between these whiskeys. I'm not drinking any shit.
Come on, you had such an easy ride.
I believe at one point I had a dump glass that had that
All
stuff
right,
in it.
fine.
I'm not drinking any more of that.
I tried, guys. I tried.
Moral of the story, tell your dad you love him. Drink Wild Turkey whiskey. Try and get Dan to pay for some whiskey once in a while.
And come to our garage because this is where
Come to the garage.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Just come hang out.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Cheers.
has been good. Cheers. Dad, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Virtual
Kathy,
cheers.
thanks for being the real voice of reason and getting us to open that.
You knew it would happen.